Donald Trump is calling for an extension of his 2017 tax cuts for billionaires. Of course, the tax cuts for average working people have largely already expired. Your taxes went up last year, they went up this year, and they will go up next year because Trump's tax cuts for billionaires were solid for 10 years. This was passed through, there's a word for it, a particular type of legislation. But anyhow, it was passed using that, this a certain type of resolution that only allows for 10 years. But the tax cuts for average working people were designed to go away much faster. Well, he wants to extend the tax cuts for the billionaires, and as a result, the billionaires are funding massive amounts of advertising on television right now, characterizing Kamala Harris as a friend of black people and criminals and, well, characterizing those two as the same thing, et cetera. So he also wants to tax overtime wages and Social Security benefits. Oh, his plan to end taxes on overtime wages, Social Security benefits, and tips would add $3.6 trillion to our national debt. His tax break for billionaires would add another $5 trillion to our $36 trillion national debt. And his call on a nationwide campaign to detain and deport undocumented immigrants would add another at least a third of $1 trillion to the national debt. All told, people who analyze these things came up with this total. They said it would be $7.5 trillion. This is from the Nonpartisan Committee for a Responsible Federal Budget, CRFB. $7.5 trillion from Trump. So then they looked at Harris's numbers, and she would add $3 trillion to the debt by extending the 2017 tax cuts for those earning under $400,000 a year. And would $1.3 trillion of that would be through a major expansion of the child tax credit and the earned income tax credit. In other words, just basically giving money to very, very poor people to lift them out of poverty. And particularly in red states where you've got minimum wages of $7.25 an hour. Large chunks of Trump's tax cuts for billionaires expire mostly in 2025. And that's why the billionaires that's why Elon Musk was out there on stage, right? That's why the billionaires are freaking out here. Harris would raise $900 billion in revenue by increasing the corporate tax rate from 21% to 28%, and another $900 billion from additional tax revenue. And she would allow Medicare to more aggressively negotiate prescription drug prices, which could save us $250 billion that right now is just going to pad the salaries of the drug industry executives.